Charles, 1st Marquis and 2nd Earl Cornwallis. Now, one of the secret clauses of the peace terms at Yorktown was that 240 years later I should recommend Mr. Washington's favorite foods, which, as I recall, consisted of mashed sweet potato, green string beans with almonds, and steak and kidney pie. And for dessert, Mr. Washington gave us, would you believe, his favorite breakfast food: hoe cakes with melted butter and honey. I wish he'd given me his wife's famous whiskey cake instead. However, let us now fall to our repast in the dining room.
Hey everybody, this is Marty Mongiello with another episode of Inside the President's Cabinet. And here at the Presidential Culinary Museum, we are super honored to have General Cornwallis with us and take a look at some of the Washington china today. Today we have two sets of china from the Washingtons, and they owned many, many different sets. Of course, in New York for the capital of the United States, and when they're living in the Philadelphia. So quite interesting to see little hodgepodges, pieces of 3 of this and 6 of that. Their collection is so extensive, it really takes a lot of record taking to go through. And this one here is actually a plain plate, President Washington's plain plate with a rather demure gold rim. I know people look at it and they say, gosh, is that boring? This one here was actually a gift in 1796 from Mr. Andrea von Hoekgeest of the East India Trading Company. And viewers will quickly notice, for you out there taking a look at the states, there's 15 now in 1796. And so take this one here, General, the Kentucky. This was often a term referring to the wilderness, really, and people doing genealogical research these days will see the word Kentucky, but they're referring to the wilderness, not the state yet.
Nobody would ever want to live there.
Yes. And then now it is a state in 1796, encased in the chain. And you will notice in Latin down here a great saying, this is a glory and the defense of it, Deus et tutamen abio. And this actually comes from the Aeneid by Virgil.
Ah.
So.
Arma ruanque cano, qui primus. God have heard of General Washington, I speak of arms and the man.
Absolutely. So it's amazing to see things like this showing up and then this china being used. And many modern folks today find it distasteful, or they have mentioned, I really don't like the serpent or the snake biting its own tail, the showing of the snake. But really the snake was quite popular during this period. It's not essentially, I would say, like during modern times, people find the showcasing of the snake to be disgusting, or if we're going to have a serpent on my china, I don't think so. So the MW in 24 karat gold here is for Martha Washington. When this showed up from the ship Louisa on April 24th, 1796, the cases were marked on the docks of Philadelphia, a gift for Mrs. Washington. And of course, this was all delivered, and they're opening it up and wondering, like, who is this gift? This guy had all this made? Mm-hmm. And we do often laugh about China and the word China. In the English Oxford Dictionary, they actually asked, what should we call this new rock, kaolinite, that they're melting and pouring into the circles? Because it's fantastic. You can eat off of it. It turns rock hard. We can glaze it. And one of the other gentlemen at the dictionary company said, well, what if we just were to call it China, where it's from, where it was discovered? Put it on the sea. So it becomes China, and we don't realize what we're saying today when, oh, do you have any nice china we could serve on? Where this word comes from. And it is fun to see the fact that we're going to give you the recipe for beef and kidney pie. This is a very popular pie. It'll be on InsideThePresident'sCabinet.com. So please, anytime you want to go on there and download it, this is a favorite recipe of the Washingtons, and it's available for you.
But I still want some of Mrs. Washington's famous whiskey cake, please.
Oh. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Inside the President's Cabinet here at the United States Presidential Culinary Museum. See you next time.